Hi everyone, thanks for coming. I'm Yaron Singer, and I'm here to represent Foundation AI and tell you about next generation agentic security. So basically, if we're thinking about AI, as many of us are probably are, it's kind of remarkable to sort of think about the way that we're using AI right now. So it went all the way from something that basically gives us like static knowledge to the capabilities of AI to give us real-time information, all the way now to basically having AI giving us already making autonomous decision-making in agentic systems, as we know. Now, when we're thinking about the world of cybersecurity, there's a lot of opportunity here using AI. If we're thinking about where cybersecurity is right now, we're starting to see usage of AI right now, but it hasn't reached its full potential just yet. In terms of like the opportunity that we have in cybersecurity, it feels like a perfect fit. So when we're thinking about like the challenges that we're facing with cybersecurity, we're facing a lot of challenges regarding just data overload, critical skill shortage, meaning that like it's very difficult to find and hire strong analysts in networking security or strong analysts in in just general cybersecurity. The threat landscape is evolving rapidly, especially now kind of with AI. We're seeing AI-generated attacks. We're seeing very, very powerful attackers now using these techniques. And in general, in cybersecurity, what we're experiencing many times is alert fatigue. We integrate more and more tools to add more and more protections into our systems, right? And those add more and more alerts, which just kind of creates this aspect of a lot of fatigue. And with this philosophy in mind, we decided to form this team of Foundation AI that I'm going to talk about today. So the idea being is that we can kind of like take all the stuff that we're doing at Cisco with networking and data, platform, and a very, very strong threat intelligence team and kind of fuse it into technology that we're calling Foundation AI. So the origin of the story for Foundation AI goes back to Robust Intelligence, which is a company that we formed and was acquired by Cisco about a year and a half ago. So that's me on the on the right and Kojin on the left. So basically, with Robust Intelligence, what we used to do is we created basically, I think it was like the first and prominent company for AI security. So we created models and created an AI firewall for protecting AI technology from attacks. So this acquisition by Cisco led to AI defense that many of you probably know, but importantly also led to growing the team into what we call Foundation AI. So what we did is we started with Robust Intelligence, basically building models for an AI firewall, which is basically if you're thinking about this, these are models based off of like kind of bird architectures and whatnot to look at prompt injections and things that can make AI dangerous for organizations, right? From those capabilities of models and being able to build entire platforms and systems that protect AI, organizations, what we've done is we started developing models that go beyond just protecting AI to open source models and open source architectures based off of Llama and things like that for in general protecting cybersecurity in general. So going from classifiers that are able to look at prompts and tell whether a prompt is malicious or non-malicious, to building general purpose classifiers to and then all the way to LLMs, right, that can basically be integrated and used for cybersecurity in general. And to do that, what we did is we started by taking open source architectures like Llama, and later on we grew it to other architectures. We developed kind of like our own methodologies for training models and entire platforms and pipelines, and kind of collected open source data so that we can start developing these models and made these models available as open source. And now we're growing all the way from going from model building to entire agentic platforms and systems. So what we have right now is we have not only kind of capabilities in open source models, but entire sets of tools for building agentic systems that can be integrated in Cisco products, but also be made available to developers to build their own solutions. So technology behind Foundation AI is used encompasses many things. Some things are like agentic frameworks, AI search kind of frameworks and capabilities, models for user and analytical behavior, and foundation models that I just spoke about. So if you're looking at, if you're following some of our blogs, you've read probably things about things like Peak Assistant, which is an agentic system. It's an open source agentic system for threat hunting that incorporates all this kind of technology to kind of create this, this agentic system using all these components that I mentioned here. And all these things can be used for SOC acceleration, things like threat hunting. You be used also for kind of aspects of compliance and security engineering. So the question is like, why build open source models specifically for cybersecurity? So when we're looking at cybersecurity, what we identify is that in many cases, analysts and organizations have multiple problems. Some of the problems that they have is, they have the scale of the data is just massive, right? Compute costs are, very, very large if you're thinking about running all these, trillions of parameters of models. And lastly, I think one of the most important things is there's a big issue with data integrity and data security. So a lot of these, when you're looking at cybersecurity data, a lot of the alerts, a lot of the things that are coming in, they are highly sensitive. They're basically highly sensitive data that you do not want to share outside of your organization. So the ability to take, purposely built models for cybersecurity that are built and trained for specific tasks in cybersecurity allow us to build models that are essentially small in comparison to just off-the-shelf models. In many cases, there are 3, sometimes 4 orders of magnitude smaller. You can run them on your laptop. You can integrate them easily, in kind of like in whatever environment that you're working in, and that basically allows you to run models in a way that scales. It has high data integrity, and doesn't, and it basically performs really, really well. So some of the examples are, we've compared these, these models to some, in this case, this is a kind of like comparison that we're doing from, I think this is like 6 months ago in the original paper that we released for the Foundation Sec model, which is the first open source model that we released for cybersecurity. And we compared it with other open source models that have the same architecture. And what you can see is that on the security benchmarks that are listed here, the model performs better than, for example, Llama 70B, which is a model that is like 1 order of magnitude larger. So we're taking an 8 billion parameter model, comparing it to a 70 billion parameter model, and we're running it on cybersecurity benchmarks. And we're seeing that on cybersecurity benchmarks, we're able to achieve higher performance, right? And the reason is because what we're doing is we're training a model that is purposely built for cybersecurity. We're not trying to, kind of like have a generic model answer generic questions, right? So the moral is, if you are focused on specific tasks, you can actually build models that are orders of magnitude smaller, right? That will, outperform models that are, 3 orders of magnitude larger. So at this point, we've done this not only for one architecture, but now we've done this across multiple architectures and models with multiple capabilities. We have a Hugging Face page. If you go to the Hugging Face page where you can download models, you can download open source models for free, and you'll see the base model, and this is a model that we released at RSA last year. You'll see an instruction fine-tune model. So these are models that have capability, like kind of chatbot-like capabilities. You'll see models with like different architectures. And then recently we released a reasoning model. So now we have a model that is open source, built for cybersecurity, that has reasoning capabilities. And this is the first time that anybody's ever released a reasoning model for cybersecurity tasks. So it's it's pretty exciting stuff. So when we're looking at the capabilities of these models and these agentic systems for the SOC, right? It basically gives us this kind of like new world and new opportunities, right? So for SOC teams right now, what they can do, basically with these models, they can just do a lot more. So the pain points that you're seeing with SOCs is that they often face the world where there are way too many false positives. There's kind of like manual and repetitive triage. And basically, like, there are a lot of fragmented tools, right? So right now what we're seeing in the SOC is we're seeing the models have over 300,000 downloads on Hugging Face. We're seeing SOC teams just take these models, they integrate them, and then they're basically running their SOC operations using these models in a basically a lot more efficient way. So things like alert triage, summaries, all these kinds of things are now being done with these models. And now when we have reasoning capabilities, we can do a lot more things. So we also integrate these models not only with not only with kind of like end customers, but also our own customers at Cisco. So if you're using Duo, you'll see that Duo is actually running on the foundation sec model that we're releasing is available. So Duo is an identity solution. It's used by over 100,000 customers. There's inside Duo, there's a capability of an intelligence capability that has regular digest of emails of everything that happened in the identity space that analysts are using. And originally it was using Anthropic's cloud to basically summarize complex, complex and large amounts of data. So basically, kind of like the challenge is that there's a kind of like a streamline of digestive emails, right, that needs to be summarized and kind of like reasoned with. And what we've done with Duo is we've integrated the model. So now, like Duo Intelligence runs on Foundation, the Foundation Sec model. So what that gives you is it gives you this very nice overview and summary of all the incidents that happen, and with some sort of prioritization, so that the analysts, like when they're getting their digest or when they're getting kind of like their weekly reports, right, they can now focus and look at like what are the important things and kind of get a clear summary. So if you're using the product, so this went live yesterday. So if you're using the product, what you'll see is kind of like their benchmarkings and metrics tracking over time. There's an executive summary, and then there are recommendations and prioritization. So all these things are generated by the model. So this is the first capability that we've integrated into Duo. But now that we have the capability of a model and we have a capability of basically building an agentic system, right, we can integrate those capabilities into the product on a regular basis. So what you're going to be seeing from in this case in Duo, you're going to be seeing a lot more agentic capabilities that are integrated into the product and a lot more automation, specifically for not only cybersecurity use case, but in this case for identity. So at this point, we're integrated inside Duo. We're integrated inside Cisco's XDR product. We're integrating with iSurveillance soon, integrating to CSIRT, which is Cisco's own SOC, and then also integrated into Splunk. So if you're using Splunk, you'll see that Splunk has really cool AI assistant capability. It has, and what this AI assistant capability is, it has sort of it basically allows you to automate a lot of the tasks that typically we do as analysts. So I think there's automation on the order of like 13 workflows or 13 tasks that you can do. And what we've done is we've also integrated the model inside Splunk's AI Assistant. So Splunk's AI Assistant basically is run by the Foundation Sec model. So in there's an entire AI toolkit, right, inside Splunk, and you'll be able to, whenever you're using now kind of Splunk's AI system, where you're using it for all these tasks in the SOC, you're using the Foundation Sec in the background. And then finally, right here at Cisco Live, there's a team that Cisco Live has its own SOC to protect all the data coming in and going out of Cisco Live. And that SOC is also using Foundation Sec, and it's using it inside the XDR model. And you can see a demo of it here, which is really cool. So basically, what they do is the XDR has this option of kind of creating playbooks. So what they do is they create a playbook, and then they integrate the model inside the playbook. And what it does is it summarizes incidents, it does mapping of MITRE attacks, traces attack paths, and basically can draft up reports. So it's really, really cool to see, and you can see that over there. So if you're interested in getting started, we have cookbooks and on GitHub, and you can start downloading the models. You can start downloading open source code, play around with it. You can download the original Foundation Sec 8B and other models on Hugging Face, and you can also contact us if you want it. Interested in being a design partner or developing with the model and the technology. So. Thanks for attending, and hope to work with you guys soon.